He's behind you, Paul.
Yes. All right, here we are. Yes, this would be interesting. I'm going to make notes about. Okay, welcome back, everyone. I apologize for the technical difficulties. We are.
We always blame it all. We always blame it all on Paul.
It is. It's always my fault. I accept blame. I'm trying to do this while delivering mail, and I must have somehow hit something that ended the webinar.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, we're
let's
on
see.
page,
I think
for everybody, we're on page 34. We're in Act 2, Scene 1. It's the sound of marching. Enter Warwick, the Marquis, Montague, and their army. First speaker is Warwick.
I think Kitty's back. Kitty, you back?
Coming back.
Kitty, you're Warwick, page 34. Welcome back, Kevin.
Thank you. Oh, man.
We're on page 34. We're in the middle. We're starting from the stage direction. March.
34?
Yeah.
34.
Thank you.
We're starting from March. Enter Warwick, the Marquis, Montague, and their army.
Thank you.
You there, Kitty? Warwick's line? Okay, I'll cover it until she gets back. How now, fair lords? What fare? What news abroad? It's Richard.
I'm sorry, my script is not displaying yet.
Okay. Let's wait. Let's wait, Kitty, because Kevin needs to get his script up. You're Warwick, aren't you, Kitty? There's no sound from Kitty. But you're not muted. Your sound has just vanished. But it doesn't say you're muted. Okay, can we all do sound checks, please? Jennifer?
I'm here.
Eleanor?
I'm here.
Ken?
Here.
Kitty? No sound coming through. Kevin?
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, I will take Warwick until we find out what's wrong with Kitty's sound. March, enter Warwick, the Marquis of Montague, and their army. Warwick says, how now, fair lords? What fare? What news abroad?
Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
That won't work, Kitty.
You have multiple devices.
I have.
You have
multiple devices and an echo.
You've got something feeding around the system with echoing. It's picking up sound from somewhere and copying it.
Okay, try it now. It should be okay now. Try it now, Kitty. I removed the other two ones.
Okay.
Kitty, you want to sound check again?
She's frozen. And she's gone. Okay, I'll take Warwick for the moment until Kitty gets back on. How now, fair lords? What fare? What news abroad?
Great Lord Warwick, if we should recount our baleful news, and at each word's deliverance stab poniards in our flesh, till we are all told, the words would add more anguish than the wounds. O valiant Lord, the Duke of York is slain.
Oh, Warwick, Warwick, that Plantagenet which held thee dearly as a soul's redemption is by the stern Lord Clifford done to death.
10 days ago I drowned these news in tears, and now to add more measure to your woes, I come to tell you things sith then befallen. after the bloody fray at Wakefield fort, where your brave father breathed his latest gasp. Tidings, as swiftly as the post could run, were brought to me of your loss and his depart. I, then in London, keeper of the king, mustered my soldiers, gathered flocks of friends, marched towards St. Albans to intercept the queen, bearing the king in my behalf along. For by my scouts I was advertised that she was coming with a full intent to dash our late decree in Parliament, touching King Henry's oath and your succession. Short tale to make, we at St. Albans met, our battles joined, and both sides fiercely fought. But whether 'twas the coldness of the king, who looked full gently on his warlike queen, that robbed my soldiers of their heated spleen, or whether 'twas report of her success, or more than common fear of Clifford's rigour, who thunders to his captives blood and death, I cannot judge. But to conclude with truth, their weapons, like to lightning, came and went. Our soldiers, like the night owl's lazy flight, or like a lazy thresher with a flail, fell gently down as if they struck their friends. I cheered them up with justice of our cause, with promise of high pay and great rewards, but all in vain. They had no heart to fight, and we, in them, no hope to win the day, so that we fled. The king unto the queen, Lord George, your brother Norfolk, and myself, in haste, post-haste, are come to join with you, for in the marches here we heard you were making another head to fight again.
Where is the Duke of Norfolk, gentle Warwick? And when came George from Burgundy to England?
Some 6 miles off, the Duke is with his soldiers, and for your brother he was lately sent from your kind Aunt Duchess of Burgundy with aid of soldiers to this needful war.
Was odds belike when valiant Warwick fled. Oft have I heard his praises in pursuit, but ne'er till now his scandal of retire.
But now my scandal, Richard, dost thou hear? For thou shalt know this strong right hand of mine can pluck the diadem from faint Henry's head and wring the awful spectre from his fist, where he is famous and as bold in war as he is famed for mildness, peace, and prayer.
I know it well, Warwick, blame me not. 'Tis love I bear, thy glories make me speak. But in this troublous time, what is to be done? Shall we go throw away our coats of steel and wrap our bodies in black mourning gowns, numbing our Ave Marias with our beads? Or shall we on the helmets of our foes tell our devotion with revengeful arms? For the last I say, and to it, lords.
Why, therefore, Warwick came to seek you out, and therefore comes my brother Montague. Attend me, lords. The proud insulting queen with Clifford and the haught Northumberland, and of their feather many more proud birds, have wrought the easy melting king like wax. He swore consent to your succession, his oath enrolled in the Parliament, and now to London all the crew are gone, to frustrate both his oath, but what beside may make against the house of Lancaster. Their power, I think, is 30,000 strong. Now, if the help of Norfolk and myself, with all the friends that thou, brave Earl of March, amongst the loving Welshmen canst procure, will but amount to 25,000. Why, via to London will we march, and once again bestride our foaming steeds, and once again cry, charge upon our foes, but never once again turn back and fly.
Aye, now methinks I hear great Warwick speak. Ne'er may he live to see the sunshine day that cries retire if Warwick bid him stay.
Lord Warwick, on thy shoulder will I lean. And when thou fall'st, as God forbid the hour, must Edward fall, which peril heaven forfend.
No longer Earl of March, but Duke of York. The next degree is England's royal throne. For King of England shalt thou be proclaimed in every borough as we pass along. And he that throws not up his cap for joy shall for the fault make forfeit of his head. King Edward, valiant Richard Montague, stay we no longer dreaming of renown, but sound the trumpets and about our task.
Then, Clifford, were thy heart as hard as steel, as thou hast shrewn it flint by thy deeds, I come to pierce it and to give thee mine.
Then
Ah, now.
strike up drums, God and St. George for us.
How now? What news? A messenger enters. Bull? Messenger says, the Duke of Norfolk sends you word by me the Queen is coming with a puissant host and craves your company for speedy counsel. Why, then it's sorts, brave warriors. Let's away. And they all exit. Act 2, Scene 2. There's a flourish. Enter the King, the Queen, Clifford, Northumberland, and young Prince with drum and trumpets.
Welcome, my lord, to this brave town of York. Yonder's the head of that arch enemy that sought to be encompassed with your crown. Doth not the object cheer your heart, my lord?
Aye. As the rocks cheer them, the fear the rack. To see this sight, it hurts my very soul. Withhold revenge. Dear God, 'tis not my fault, nor wittingly have I infringed my vow.
My gracious liege, this too much lenity and harmful pity must be laid aside. To whom do lions cast their gentle looks? Not to the beast that would usurp their den. Whose hand is that the forest bear doth lick? Not his that spoils her young before her face. Who scapes the lurking serpent's mortal sting? Not he that sets his foot upon her back. The smallest worm will turn being trodden on, and doves will peck in safeguard of their brood. Ambitious York did level at thy crown, thou smiling while he knit his angry brows. He but a duke would have his son a king, and raise his issue like a loving sire. Thou being a king, blessed with a goodly son, didst yield consent to disinherit him, which argued thee a most unloving father. Unreasonable creatures feed their young, and though man's face be fearful to their eyes, yet in protection of their tender ones, who hath not seen them, even with those wings which sometime they have used with fearful flight, make war with him that climbed unto their nest, offering their own lives in their young's defence. For shame, my liege, make them your precedent. Were it not pity that this goodly boy should lose his birthright by his father's fault, and long hereafter say unto his child, what my great-grandfather and grandsire got, my careless father fondly gave away? Ah, what a shame were this! Look on the boy, and let his manly face, which promiseth successful fortune, steel thy melting heart, to hold thine own and leave thine own with him.
Full well hath Clifford played the orator, and foreign arguments of mighty force. But Clifford, tell me, didst thou never hear that things ill got had ever bad success? And happy always was it for that son, whose father for his hoarding went to hell. I'll leave my son my virtuous deeds behind, and would my father have left me no more. For all the rest is held at such a rate as brings 1,000-fold more care to keep than in possession of any jot of pleasure. Ah, cousin York, would thy best friends did know how it doth grieve me that thy head is here.
My lord, cheer up your spirits. Our foes are nigh, and this soft courage makes your followers faint. You promised knighthood to our forward son. Unsheathe your sword and dub him presently. Edward, kneel down.
Edward Plantagenet, arise in night and learn this lesson. Draw thy sword and write.
Prince Edward.
I think that's Kitty.
Yeah.
Oh, we've lost Kitty. My gracious father, by your kingly leave, I'll draw it as a parent to the crown, and in that quarrel use it to the death.
Why, that is spoken like a toward prince.
Enter a messenger.
Royal commanders, be in readiness, for with a band of 30,000 men comes Warwick, backing of the Duke of York, and in the towns as they do march along proclaims him king, and many fly to him. Arrange your battle, for they are at hand.
I would your highness would depart the field. The queen hath best success when you are absent.
Aye, good my lord, and leave us to our fortune.
Why, that's my fortune too. Therefore, I'll stay.
Who's
Ah.
that?
Be it with resolution then to fight.
My royal father, cheer these noble lords, and hearten those that fight in your defence. Unsheath your lord, good father, cry St. George. March. Enter Edward, Warwick, Richard, Clarence, Norfolk, Montague, and soldiers. So we need about 30 people for this. Can we do that?
Now, perjured Henry, wilt thou kneel for grace and set thy diadem upon my head, or bide the mortal fortune of the field?
Go rate thy minions, proud, insulting boy. Becomes it thee to be thus bold in terms before thy sovereign and thy lawful king?
I am his king, and he should bow his knee. I was adopted heir by his consent.
Since when his oath is broke, for as I hear, you that are king, though he do wear the crown, have caused him by new act of parliament to blot out me and put his own son in.
And a reason too. Who should succeed the father but the son?
Are you there, butcher? Oh, I cannot speak.
Aye, Crookback, here I stand to answer thee or any he the proudest of thy sort.
'Twas you that killed young Rutland, was it not?
Aye, and old York, and yet not satisfied.
For God's sake, lords, give signal to the fight.
What sayst thou, Henry? Wilt thou yield the crown?
Why, how now, long-tongued Warwick? Dare you speak when you and I met at St. Albans last? Your legs did better service than your hands.
Then 'twas my turn to fly, and now 'tis thine.
You said so much before, and yet you fled.
'Twas not your valour, Clifford, drove me thence.
No, nor your manhood that durst make you stay. Northumberland, I hold thee reverent, awfully, for scarce I can refrain. The execution of my big swollen heart upon that Clifford, that cruel, childlike killer.
I slew thy father. Call'st thou him a child?
I like a dastard and a treacherous coward, as thou didst kill our tender brother Rutland. But ere sunset, I'll make thee curse thy deed.
I've done with words, my lords, and hear me speak.
Defy them then, or else hold close thy lips.
I prithee, give no limits to my tongue. I am a king and privileged to speak.
My liege, the wounds that bred this meeting here cannot be cured by words, therefore be still.
Then, executioner, unsheath thy sword. By him that made us all, I am resolved that Clifford's manhood lies upon his tongue.
Say, Henry, shall I have my right or no? 1,000 men have broke their fasts today that ne'er shall dine unless thou yield the crown.
If thou deny their blood upon thy head, for York in justice puts his armour on. Prince Edward. If that be right, which Warwick says is right, there is no wrong, but everything is right. Whoever got thee, there thy mother stands, for well I wot thou hast thy mother's tongue.
But thou art neither like thy sire nor dam, but like a foul misshapen stigmatic, marked by the destinies to be avoided as venomous toads or lizards' dreadful stings.
Iron of Naples hid with English guilt, whose father bears the title of king, as if a channel should be called the sea. Shamest thou not, knowing whence thou art extraught, to let thy tongue detect thy base-born heart?
Again,
Oh, sorry. Let me see. Yes. A wisp of straw were worth 1,000 crowns to make this shameless callet know herself. Ah. Helen of Greece was fairer far than thou, although thy husband may be Menelaus, and ne'er was Agamemnon's brother wronged by that false woman as this king by thee. His father revelled in the heart of France and tamed the king and made the dolphins stoop. And had he matched according to his state, he might have kept his glory to this day. But when he took a beggar to his bed and graced thy poor sire with his bridal day, even then that sunshine brewed a shower for him that washed his father's fortunes forth of France, and heaped sedition on his crown at home. For what hath broached this tumult but thy pride? Hadst thou been meek, our title still had slept, and we, in pity of the gentle king, had slipped our claim until another age.
but when we saw our sunshine made thy spring, and that thy summer bred us no increase, we set the axe to thy usurping root, and though the edge has something hit ourselves, yet know thou, since we have begun to strike, we'll never leave till we have hewn thee down or bathed thy growing with our heated bloods.
And in this resolution I defy thee, not willing any longer conference, since thou deniedst the gentle king to speak. Sound, trumpets, let our bloody colours wave, and either victory or else a grave.
Stay, Edward.
No, wrangling woman will no longer stay. These words will cost 10,000 lives this day.
And they exit. Act 2, Scene 3, an alarm, excursions. Enter Warwick. For spent with toil as runners with a race, I lay me down a little while to breathe. For strokes received and many blows repaid have robbed my strong knit sinews of their strength, and spite of spite needs must I rest a while. Enter Edward running.
Smile, gentle heaven, or strike, ungentle death, for this world frowns and Edward's sun is clouded.
Why, how now, my lord? What hap? What hope of good? Enter Clarence. Our hap is loss, our hope but sad despair. Our ranks are broken, ruin follows us. What counsel give you? Whither shall we fly?
Bootless is flight, they follow us with wings, and weak we are and cannot shun pursuit.
Richard,
Warwick. Sorry.
Enter Richard.
Warwick. I will let you read it. I beg your pardon.
No, you carry on. No, I'm just doing the page direction.
Okay. Warwick, thou hast you withdrawn thyself. Thy brother's blood the surty earth has drunk. Broached with a steely point of Clifford's lance, and in these very pangs of death he cried like into a dismal clangor heard from far, Warwick, revenge, brother, revenge my death. So underneath the belly of their steeds that stained their fetlocks in his soaking blood, the noble gentleman gave up his ghost.
Then let the earth be drunken with our blood. I'll kill my horse because I will not fly. Why stand we like soft-hearted women here, wailing our losses, whilst the foe doth rage, and look upon as if the tragedy were played in jest by counterfeiting actors? Here, on my knee, I vow to God above I'll never pause again, and never stand still till either death hath closed these eyes of mine, or fortune given me measure of revenge.
O Warwick, I do bend my knee with thine, and in this vow do chain my soul to thine. And ere my knee rise from the earth's cold face, I throw my hands, mine eyes, my heart to thee. Thou setter up and plucker down of kings, beseeching thee, if with thy will it stands, that to my foes this body must be prey, yet that thy brazen gates of heaven may open, give sweet passage to my sinful soul. Now, lords, take leave until we meet again, where'er it be, in heaven or in earth.
Brother, give me thy hand, and gentle Warwick, let me embrace thee in my weary arms, that I did never weak, now melt with woe, that winter should cut off our springtime so.
Away, away! Once more, sweet lords, farewell. Yet let us all together to our troops, and give them leave to fly that will not stay, and call them pillars that will stand to us. And if we thrive, promise them such rewards as victors wear at the Olympian games. This may plant courage in their quailing breasts, for yet is hope of life and victory. For slow no longer, make we hence amend. And they exit. Act 2, Scene 4, Excursions. Enter Richard and Clifford.
Now, Clifford, I have singled thee alone. Suppose this arm is for the Duke of York, and this for Rutland, both bound to revenge. Wert thou in Vine with a brazen wall?
Now, Richard, I am with thee here alone. This is the hand that stabbed thy father York, and this the hand that slew thy brother Rutland, and here's the heart that triumphs in their death, and cheers these hands that slew thy sire and brother, to execute the like upon thyself, and so have at thee.
They fight. Warwick comes. Clifford flies.
Nay, Warwick, single out some other chase, for I myself will hunt this wolf to death.
And they exit. Act 2, Scene 5. Jennifer, you're live. Can you kill your video? Gotcha. Alarm. Enter King Henry alone.
This battle fares like to the morning's war, when dying clouds contend with glowing light. What time the shepherd blowing of his nails can either call it perfect day nor night. Now sways it this way like a mighty sea, forced by the tide to combat with the wind. Now sways it that way like the selfsame sea, forced to retire by fury of the wind. Sometimes the flood prevails, and then the wind. Now one the better, then another best, both tugging to be victors breast to breast, yet neither conqueror nor conquered. So is the equal poise of this fell war. To whom God will, here on this molehill will I sit me down, to whom God will, there be the victory. For Margaret, my queen, and Clifford too, have chid me from the battle, swearing both they prosper best of all when I am thence. But I were dead if God's good will were so. For what is in this world but grief and woe? Oh God, methinks it were a happy life to be no better than a homely swain, to sit upon a hill as I do now, to carve out dials quaintly, point by point, thereby to see the minutes how they run. How many makes the hour full complete? How many hours brings about the day? How many days will finish up the year? How many years a mortal man may live? When this is known, then how to divide the times, So many hours must I tend my flock. So many hours must I take my rest. So many hours must I contemplate. So many hours must I sport myself. So many days my youths have been with young. So many weeks ere the poor fools will eat. So many years shall I shear the fleece. So minutes, hours, days, months, and years passed over to the end they were created would bring white hairs unto a quiet grave. Oh, what a life for this! How sweet! How lovely! Is not the hawthorn bush a sweeter shade to shepherds looking on their silly sheep than does a rich embroidered canopy to kings that fear their subjects' treachery? Oh, yes, it doth, a thousandfold it doth. And to conclude, the shepherd's homely curds, his cold, thin drink out of his leather bottle, his wonted sleep under a fresh tree shade, all which secure and sweetly he enjoys is far beyond a prince's delicates. His viand sparkling in a golden cup, his body couched in a curious bed when care, mistrust, and treason waits in him.
Alarm sounds. Enter a son that has killed his father at one door and a father that has killed his son at another door. Kevin, you want to do the son?
Sure. Ill blows the wind that profits nobody. This man whom hand to hand I slew in fight may be possessed with some stores of crowns, and I that haply may take them from him now may yet ere night yield both my life and them to some man else, as the dead man doth me. Who's this? O God, 'tis my father's face, whom in this conflict I unawares have killed. Oh, heavy times! Begetting such events from London by the king, I was pressed forth. My father, being the Earl of Warwick's man, came on the part of York priest, pressed by his master, and I, whom at his hands received my life, have by my hands a life bereaved him. Pardon me, God, I knew not what I did, and pardon, Father, I knew not thee. My tears shall wipe away these bloody marks, and no more words till they have flown their fill.
Oh, piteous spectacle! Bloody times! While lions roar and battle for their dens, poor harmless lambs abide their enmity. Weep, wretched man, I'll aid thee tear for tear, and let our hearts and eyes like civil war be blind with tears, and break or charged with grief.
Enter a father carrying his son. Foe that so stoutly hath resisted me, give me thy gold if thou hast any gold, for I have bought it with 100 blows. But let me see, is this our foeman's face? Ah, no, 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 it is mine only son. Ah, boy, if any life be left in thee, throw up thine eyes. See, see what showers arise, blown with the windy tempest of my heart upon thy wounds, that kills mine eye and heart. Oh, pity God this miserable age. What stratagems! How fell, how butchery, erroneous, mutinous, and unnatural this deadly quarrel daily doth beget. O boy, thy father gave thee life too soon, and hath bereft thee of thy life too late.
Woe above woe. Grief, more the common grief. Oh, that my death would stay these ruthful deeds. Oh, pity, pity, gentle heaven, pity. The red rose and the white are on his face, the fatal colors of our striving houses. The one his purple blood right well resembles, the other his pale cheeks, methinks, presenteth. Wither one rose and let the other flourish. If you contend, 1,000 lives must wither.
How will my mother for my father's death take on with me and ne'er be satisfied?
How will my wife for slaughter of my son shed seas of tears and ne'er be satisfied?
How
Was
will the
ever son
country
so renewed a father's
Whoa,
death?
whoa, whoa, whoa.
be?
Let the
Oh,
king
I'm
speak.
sorry.
How will the country for these woeful chances misthink the king and not be satisfied?
Was ever son so renewed a father's death?
Was ever father so bemoaned his son?
Was ever king so grieved for subjects' woe? Much is her sorrow, mine 10 times so much.
I'll bear thee hence, where I may weep my fill.
These arms of mine shall be thy winding sheet. My heart, sweet boy, shall be thy sepulchre. For from my heart thine image ne'er shall go. My sighing breast shall be thy funeral bell. So obsequious will thy father be. Men for the loss of thee, having no more, as Priam was for all his valiant sons, I'll bear thee hence, and let them fight that will, for I have murdered where I should not kill. And the father exits.
Sad-hearted men, much overgrown with care. Here sits a king more woeful than you are.
Alarms sound. Movement. Enter the queen, the prince, and Exeter. Prince Edward. Edward? Who's Edward?
You are.
Ken. Ken?
You are.
Yes, just a minute. I'm here. What page?
Page 57, halfway down.
Okay.
The prince enters. That should be Prince Edward, I think.
Okay. Fly, father, fly, for all your friends are fled, and Warwick rages like a chafed bull. Away, for death doth hold us in pursuit.
Mount you, my lord, toward Barwick post amain. Edward and Richard, like a brace of greyhounds, having the fearful flying hare in sight, with fiery eyes sparkling for very wrath, and bloody steel grasped in their ireful hands, are at our backs, and therefore hence amain.
Away, for vengeance comes along with them. Nay, stay not to expostulate, make speed, or else come after. I'll away before.
Nay, take me with thee, good sweet Exeter. Not that I fear to stay, but love to go whither the queen intends. Forward, away!
And they exit. Act 2, Scene 6. A loud alarm sounds. Enter Clifford, wounded.
Ah, here burns my candle out. Aye, here it dies, which whiles it lasted gave King Henry light. O Leinster, I fear thy overthrow more than my body's parting with my soul. My love and fear glued many friends to thee, and now I fall. Thy tough commixtures melts impairing Henry, strengthening misproud York. And whither fly the gnats but to the sun? And who shines now but Henry's enemies? O Phoebus, hadst thou never given consent that Phaeton should check thy fiery steeds, thy burning car never had scorched the earth, and Henry hadst thou swayed as king should do, or as thy father and his father did, giving no ground unto the house of York, they never then had sprung like summer flies. Aye, and 10,000 in this luckless realm had left no mourning widows for our death. And thou this day hadst kept thy chair in peace. For what doth cherish weeds but gentle air? And what makes robbers bold but too much lenity? Bootless are plaints, and cureless are my wounds. No way to fly, no strength to hold out flight. The foe is merciless, and will not pity. for at their hands I have deserved no pity. The air hath got into my deadly wounds, and much effuse of blood doth make me faint. Come, York, and Richard, Warwick, and the rest, I stabbed your father's bosoms, split my breast.
Alarm and retreat. Enter Edward, Warwick, Richard, and soldiers, Montague and Clarence.
Now breathe we, lords. Good fortune bids us pause and smooth the frowns of war with peaceful looks. Some troops pursue the bloody-minded queen that led calm Henry, though he were a king, as doth the sail filled with a fretting gust command an argosy to stem the waves. But think you, lords, that Clifford fled with them?
No, 'tis impossible he should escape. For though before his face I spake the words, your brother Richard marked him for the grave, and wheresoe'er he is surely dead. Clifford groans.
Whose soul is that which takes heavy leave, a deadly groan like life and death departing? See who it is.
And now the battle's ended, if friend or foe, let him be gently used.
Revoke that doom of mercy, for 'tis Clifford, who not content, he lopped the branch in hewing Rutland when his leaves put forth, but set his murthering knife into the root, from whence that tender spray did sweetly spring. I mean our princely father, Duke of York.
From off the gates of York fetch down thy head, your father's head, which Clifford placed there. Instead whereof let this supply the room, measure for measure must be answered.
Bring forth that fatal screech owl to our house, that nothing sung but death to us and ours. Now death shall stop his dismal threatening sound, and his ill-boding tongue no more shall speak.
I think its understanding is bereft. Speak, Clifford, dost thou know who speaks to thee? Dark, cloudy death o'ershades his beams of life, and he nor sees nor hears us what we say.
Oh, would he did, and so perhaps he doth. 'Tis but his policy to counterfeit, because he would avoid such bitter taunts, which in the time of death he gave our father.
If thou so thinkst, vex him with eager words.
Clifford, ask mercy, and obtain no grace.
Clifford, repent in bootless penitence.
Clifford, devise excuses for thy faults, while we devise fell tortures for thy faults.
Thou didst love York, and I am the son to York.
Thou pitiedst Rutland, I will pity thee.
Where's Captain Margaret to fence you now? Why, they mock thee, Clifford, swear as thou wast wont.
What? Not an oath? Nay, then the world goes hard when Clifford cannot spare his friends an oath. I know by that he's dead, and by my soul, if this right hand would buy 2 hours' life, that I, in all despite, might rally at him, his hand should chop it off, and with the issuing blood stifle the villain, whose unstaunch thirst York and young Rutland could not satisfy.
Aye, but he's dead. Off with the traitor's head and rear it in the place your father stands. And now to London with triumphant march, there to be crowned England's royal king, from whence shall Warwick cut the sea to France, and ask the Lady Bona for thy queen. So shalt thou sinew both these lands together, and having France thy friend, thou shalt not dread the scattered foe that hopes to rise again. For though they cannot greatly sting to hurt, yet look to have them buzz to offend thine ears. First will I see the coronation, and then to Brittany I'll cross the sea to effect this marriage, so it please my lord.
Even as thou wilt, sweet Warwick, let it be. For in thy shoulder do I build my seat, and never will I undertake the thing wherein thy counsel and consent is wanting. Richard, I will create thee Duke of Gloucester, and George of Clarence. Warwick as ourself shall do and undo as him pleaseth best.
Let me be Duke of Clarence, George of Gloucester, for Gloucester's dukedom is too ominous.
That's a foolish observation. Oh, God. Richard, be Duke of Gloucester, now to London to see these honours in possession. And they exit. Act 3, Scene 1. Actors enter Sinclair and Humphrey with crossbows in their hands. Under this thick-grown brake we'll shroud ourselves, for through this land anon the deer will come, and in this covert we will make our stand, culling the principal of all the deer.
I'll stay above the hill so both may shoot.
That cannot be. The noise of thy crossbow will scare the herd, and so my shoot is lost. Here stand we both, and aim we at the best, and for the time shall not seem tedious, I'll tell thee what befell me on a day in this self place where now we mean to stand. Here comes a man. Let's stay till he be past. Enter the king with a prayer book.
Scotland am I stolen even of pure love to greet my home land with my wishful sight. No, Harry, 'tis no land of thine. Thy place is filled, thy sceptre wrung from thee, thy balm washed off, wherewith thou wast anointed. No bending knee will call thee Caesar now, no humble suitors press to speak for right. No, not a man comes for redress of thee, for how can I help them and not myself?
Aye, here's a deer whose skin's a keeper's fee. This is the quondam king. Let's seize upon him.
Let me embrace the sour adversaries, for wise men say it is the wisest course.
Who's Humphrey?
Why linger? Why linger we? Let us lay hands upon him.
Forbear a while. We'll hear a little more.
My queen and son have gone to France for aid, and as I hear the great commanding Warwick guy, they're gone to crave the French king's sister to wife for Edward. This news be true. Poor queen and son, the labor is but lost, for Warwick is a subtle orator, and Louis a prince soon won with moving words. By this account, then, Margaret may win him, for she's a woman to be pitied much. Her sighs will make a battery in his breast. Her tears will pierce into a marble heart. The tiger will be mild, while she doth mourn, and Nero will be tainted with remorse to hear and see her plaints, her brinish tears. Aye, but she's come to beg, Warwick to give. She on his left side, craving aid for Henry, he on his right, asking a wife for Edward. She weeps and says her Henry is deposed. He smiles and says his Edward is installed. That she, poor wretch, for grief can speak no more. Whilst Warwick tells his title, smooths the wrong, inferreth arguments of mighty strength, and in conclusion wins the king from her, with promise of his sister, and what else? To strengthen and support King Edward's place. Oh, Margaret, thus 'twill be, and thou, poor soul, art then forsaken, as thou wentst forlorn.
Say, what art thou talk'st of kings and queens?
More than I seem, and less than I was born to. A man at least, for less I should not be. And men may talk of kings, and why not I?
Aye, thou talkest as if thou wert a king.
Why, so I am in mine, and that's enough.
But if thou be a king, where is thy crown?
My crown is in my heart, not on my head, not decked with diamonds and Indian stones, or to be seen. My crown is called content. Crown it is as seldom kings enjoy.
Oh, well, if you be a king crowned with content, your crown contenting you must be contented to go along with us, for as we think you are the king, King Edward hath deposed, and we his subjects sworn in all allegiance will apprehend you as his enemy.
But did you never swear and break an oath?
No, never such an oath, nor will not now.
Where did you dwell when I was king of England?
Here in this country where we now remain.
I was anointed king at 9 months old. My father and my grandfather were kings, and you were sworn true subjects unto me. And tell me then, have you not broke your oath?
No, for we were subjects, but while you were king.
Why? Am I dead? Do I not breathe a man? Ah, simple men, you know not what you swear. Look, as I blow this feather from my face, and as the air blows it to me again, obeying with my wind when I do blow,